Hello again. This weekend is Father's Day. Like many of you, I don't have a father anymore. My dad passed away in 2018 on a pretty well tragic farm accident that happened not too far from where I'm sitting right now, probably within 8 miles of where I'm sitting. My dad passed away, and it just pretty much, I won't give you the details, but it was a farm accident. It was a tragic one, as most of them are. Uh, but even though Dad's not here, I'd like to just talk a little bit about Father's Day and what it means and what it means to people and what it means to so many of us. You know, a lot of us wouldn't be who we are, and if we have anything good about us at all, a lot of it we have to give credit to our dads. Several of my friends I know have already lost their fathers, like me, and they know how this feels. It's a tough weekend for some of them, and I'm kind of I'm an orphan because my mom and my father are both gone now. So Mother's Day is hard on me, and Father's Day is as well. And I look on those days. Probably Mother's Day is probably the worst, but I look on those days as there's a lot of people that experience that, and they know what it is to not have a father or mother. But on this Father's Day, I just want to take the chance to uh, say thank you to all the dads out there, every one of you. Whether you're watching this, whether you have a dad, I just want to thank dads because they make this world what it is. Uh, Dads, they work hard, they take care of the families, and we'd be in a big trouble in society without them. They're just they're just good people in many cases, and where would our lives be without our dads? And I know I was thankful and blessed to have the one that I had, and I miss him just about every day. Probably if you looked, probably over that shoulder right there, there's a picture of me and my father right there, and I miss that man just about. Rarely a day goes by that I don't think about him and miss him, and especially with some of the things I'm going through right now. Uh, but Dad was a great man and a wonderful man, as is most of your fathers. And so I just take this chance to honor them. You know, when Dad died, we went to a funeral home, and I don't know what those books are that well, they're little pamphlets that they pass out at the viewing, and they usually have some like a little poem or saying written on the inside cover. And when we were taking care of Dad's funeral arrangements, I looked through all they got a couple notebooks with those little cards and the things you can put in yours and kind of personalize it to your family. And honestly, I'd read through all of them, and not that there's anything wrong with them. I just didn't think they were right for my dad. And that's when it hit me that, look, I'm a writer. If there's one last thing I could do for my dad on this earth, it's going to make sure that the right thing gets written down inside that little pamphlet. And so I wrote what was actually in there. It was these words. He died in much the same way he lived, working on the farm. He died with his work boots on and in his right mind. Those who really knew him already realized that he would have preferred going out that way rather than wasting away in a nursing home. He wasn't a man who wanted to spend his final days looking at the ones he loved and seeing pity in their eyes or them seeing weakness in his. And that's what I wrote about my father. And I believe those words are fitting, and at least they spoke to the man he was, and I'm glad it was one more thing I could do for him on this earth. I do want to talk to you and just mention that, you know, those of you who still have fathers alive, that may not always be the case. Do you know there's a time coming in your lives where you and your father will have your last conversation together? And probably when you have your final conversation, neither of you will know at that time that's your last conversation you'll ever have. I had mine in November 2018. And some of you are facing that as well. So every time, each and every time you meet with your dad, if there's anything you need said, or anything you need to say to him, or you need to make something right, now's the time to do it, because you don't know how much time you have. You don't know how much time he has. And one of these days, you will have your final conversation, and probably neither one of you will know that would be the last time you'll ever talk on this earth. So these are things you need to keep in mind on this Father's Day. Thank God for all the fathers. Thank God for the differences they mean in our lives. Thank God for the difference, mine, man, and mine. God bless W.R. Yoho. And I was blessed to have him. And you're blessed to have your dads on this day. And so I just ask that you remember that. That's about all I have for you this week. I'll talk to you again next week. Thank you for stopping in. Bye now.